Welcome to Liverpool Reds FC Blog. Thanks for stopping by if this is your first time and checking us out. And if this is your second, third, or fourth time, thanks for stopping by to check out our latest video. And today, we're going to talk a little bit about Philippe Coutinho. Coutinho news came earlier this week, the end of last week as well, that Coutinho is dead set on returning to Liverpool. At least that's what the rumors are and the reports are, pleading with Liverpool to take him back after his move just a few years ago to Barcelona. And we've seen Coutinho struggle since leaving Liverpool with Barcelona as well as at Bayern Munich most recently this last season. And he's desperate to come back to the club. But Liverpool have given word that he's not going to be coming back. They're not interested in signing him. Klopp wants to look in other areas and other places. And as well as Spanish journalist Guillermo Balaga has also confirmed that Liverpool are not interested in bringing Coutinho back and going back down that same path that they once did with the Brazilian. Now, a lot of fans of Liverpool took to social media really wanting him to come back when news broke that he was pleading with the club to take him back. And it's understandable. Coutinho did some very good things with Liverpool, and Liverpool did great things for him in his career until Coutinho starred for Liverpool under Brendan Rodgers and Jurgen Klopp. He had really struggled to make an impact in European football with Inter Milan as well as at Espanyol. And he was, it's easy to forget, was toiling away in La Liga with Espanyol before moving to Liverpool, where he broke out and really succeeded to earn that big money move to Barcelona. And now, of course, we can see that it was Liverpool and the system that the club plays, and as well as the fitness that he was able to get, that really helped him exceed and play really well, which he's not been able to replicate since making the move elsewhere to Barcelona and Bayern Munich. Now, Coutinho has scored 8 goals and created 6 goals this season in 22 Bundesliga games, which is not a bad return, but when you consider the price that it would cost for Bayern Munich to keep him, which they've already said that they're not going to, and it shows that Coutinho doesn't really have a place with the team because of that high price tag, the high price tag for a transfer, as well as the salary demands, even though he has said he would take less money to go back to Liverpool. But Liverpool do have other options. Now, we've seen Timo Werner today agree the deal, or RB Leipzig, that is, agree the deal to send Timo Werner to Chelsea. So Liverpool have lost out on Werner, and depending on the media outlet you want to believe, it really depends on what you're reading or what you're watching, on who you believe, whether Liverpool really wanted to sign Timo Werner. And it felt like for a very long time that Liverpool were in with a shout to sign him. But in the end, he's going to go to Chelsea. But again, like I said, there are 3 players that Liverpool could turn their attentions to as a alternative to Philippe Coutinho. And these are 3 attacking midfielders who can also play as secondary strikers as well. In that same Roberto Firmino role that we've seen him, when Firmino came from Hoffenheim, he was an attacking midfielder apt at both creating goals and scoring goals, but we've seen him really come into his own as more of a central forward to lead the line rather than also sit deep and create goals, even though we know he can. We know he can definitely do that. But Liverpool have some options, and not just Takumi Minamino, who is in the team, and the player that it feels like Klopp and the club are really hoping will improve going into the next season and possibly back up Firmino a bit more than he has this year. We've seen him struggle to adapt to the Premier League since making that move in January from Red Bull Salzburg. But the 3 players that I'm referring to today, the first one I'm talking about is Kai Havertz, and that's the player who, in my opinion, is the player every team in Europe should be after this summer. I know a lot of people love Jadon Sancho and what he can do, but for me, Havertz is a player who has more upside. For me, Sancho is the finished article already. Havertz is still developing and still working hard and becoming a better player. We've seen him thrive with Peter Bosz and Bayer Leverkusen this season, and he's gone from playing as a winger to playing as an attacking midfielder to playing as a central striker. After the COVID-19 break in the Bundesliga, he came back and scored 6 goals in 6 games, playing mostly as a central striker due to injury issues, but showing that he can play that Roberto Firmino role and play it quite well. He's only 21, just turned 21 years old, and would be a fantastic addition to Liverpool. Now, valuations right now from Transfer Market are £73 million, but that's going to be much higher because Leverkusen are in the driver's seat with this transfer, and again, he's going to bring in big money regardless of where he goes. Chelsea's been linked to him, but I would think that they'd have to sell some players to bring him in after getting Werner, that is, and as well as Real Madrid have also been linked. So Bayer Leverkusen are going to be in the driver's seat, but they may not have as many teams really going for him this summer as previously thought before the hiatus that we've most recently had due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, a lot of people will say, oh, well, of course, Jadon Sancho is going to be the next person on the list, but I don't even think that Liverpool should necessarily be approaching Jadon Sancho. He's a big money transfer, and as I said, I think he's the finished article already. I know he's still young, but we've seen some unprofessionalism from him this season, and I think Liverpool already have excellent wide players in Salah and Sané. So moving away from Sancho and maybe going with a player who can play a little bit more centrally and be a more creative player, which we saw against Atletico Madrid, difficulty breaking down a very stubborn defense, that Liverpool could use that attacking midfielder that can unlock defenses. And the player I'm referring to that Liverpool could go after is Martin Odegaard. Now, if you forget who Martin Odegaard is, he was a 15-year-old or 16-year-old who was snapped up by Real Madrid back in 2015. Now, Odegaard made waves in Norway as a 14 and 15-year-old. He's the youngest player to ever play for the Norwegian national team and the youngest player to ever play for Real Madrid when he made his debut at the age of 16. Now, Odegaard has been shipped out on loans over the last few seasons to Heerenveen and Vitesse and is currently on loan at Real Sociedad. He's played very well at all of those stops, learning his trade and developing along the way as a creative player and a goal scorer. With Sociedad this year, he has scored 4 goals and added 5 assists and led them to the Copa del Rey final, and they're going to be playing Athletic Bilbao later on this season in that final. And Odegaard has also helped Real Sociedad reach 5th place right now in La Liga, and they're fighting for a top 4 place. So Odegaard is a definite player that could improve Liverpool's attack and improve that cutting edge in the final third if Liverpool want to go with less of a workman-like defensive midfield with Wijnaldum, Henderson, and Fabinho, and add a little bit of flair with Odegaard. Odegaard can also play wide on the left or the right as well. He's a fantastic young player and, like I said, continuing to develop, and he's done very, very well at Real Sociedad. It doesn't look like Real Madrid really have a place for him or a future for him there at the Bernabeu, and right now it looks like he's going to stay one more season at least at Sociedad unless someone comes in and signs him for around 40 to 50 million pounds. Now, he is valued at 40.5 million pounds by transfermarket.com. So we could see him move on if a team does come in for him. But he's done really well for Sociedad and really been a joy to watch this year for a team that has overachieved and doesn't really have that many good attacking players or a very deep team. So he's definitely improved them this season. The third player I've identified as an alternative to Philippe Coutinho is Matheus Cunha. Now, you may say, who's Matheus Cunha? Well, Matheus Cunha is a 21-year-old Brazilian currently playing for Hertha Berlin in Germany. Now, Cunha only moved to Berlin in January. He moved there from RB Leipzig, who, if you know anything about RB Leipzig, you know that they have a fantastic scouting network around the world that they use with their sister clubs, Red Bull Salzburg, Red Bull New York, and the like. Now, Cunha was a player who developed a bit late. I know he's only 21, but of those Brazilians, he developed a bit late. He started out with Coritiba in Brazil and was scouted from there and signed with Switzerland's FC Sion, and then moved to RB Leipzig after that. Now, Cunha, like I said, he's a young player. He's a creative player. He can play as an attacking midfielder or a center forward, and he's really done well for Hertha Berlin since making that move from RB Leipzig. He didn't have too many opportunities there, but if you've seen RB Leipzig this season in the Champions League or in the Bundesliga, you know that they have a lot of good attacking talent. Timo Werner, of course, is there still until the end of the season. But Coutinho has 4 goals and 2 assists in 9 games for Hertha Berlin. He's not played necessarily a lot of games since the move at the end of January because he had some international matches he was playing with Brazil youth teams, as well as a few injury problems. Now, most recently, he's had a concussion that kept him out for 2 games since the return from the COVID-19 break, and has only played about 23 minutes since returning to the team over the last couple of games. But definitely a player to keep your eye on, and a player that Liverpool could, like they did with Firmino, go out and sign and bring over to the club. From Germany, Brazilian, young, and exciting. With Coutinho, one of the other benefits that Liverpool would have is that Hertha Berlin are playing a very similar style to Liverpool, that high press, that fast counter-attacking style under Bruno Labbadia, a very exciting style, and he could transition well into playing at Anfield. He's only valued at £12 million. Hertha did pay $16 million to RB Leipzig for him back in January, so that could be about a 20 to 25 million if Liverpool were able to go out and get him. Now, again, these are just players that are alternatives to Philippe Coutinho, and just players that I think that are excellent attacking midfielders / strikers who could come into the club and do a job for Liverpool. Now, the season is continuing on this weekend with Liverpool taking on Everton in the Merseyside derby, and Liverpool could wrap up the league title this weekend. Of course, that's going to depend on a win and a loss by Manchester City on Monday night against Burnley. So right now it really looks like that the Liverpool are going to have to go on for at least another game if they can defeat Everton at the weekend, which is going to be a very difficult game. This will be the first time Ancelotti has coached Everton in a league Merseyside derby. As we know, Liverpool did win in the FA Cup earlier this year, 1-0 against Everton with Ancelotti in charge. So, guys, thanks for tuning in and watching here on YouTube, the Liverpool Reds FC Blog channel. If this was your first time, thanks for stopping by. And again, if this was a time that you've come back, thank you again for coming. We'd appreciate it if you gave us a thumbs up and like this video, as well as subscribing to the channel so you stay up to date on everything we do with the Liverpool Reds FC Blog.com website. And of course, you can go over to YouTube and check out the YouTube page there. Join up with the others who are following along and comment on everything there is that is Liverpool. You can find the link in the show notes down at the bottom, and also you can follow me on Twitter at DrewMFarmer and stay up to date on everything that I post about, whether it be Liverpool or anything else football related. So guys, thanks for watching. Again, please like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time here on Liverpool Reds FC Blog.